Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. If you're a first-time listener, thanks for stopping by. My name is Josh Lilquist, and we are happy to have you with us today.
No.
I have my good friend and my good pal. He is wearing the ugliest sweater I have ever seen here today, Mr. Al Connickson. Al, how are you doing today?
You know what? I am doing really well. I feel great. I hope you feel the same way. And this sweater is not so ugly. In fact, I couldn't. This is ugly sweater day in the office, folks. I couldn't find an ugly sweater, so I just pinned a sign to my sweater. My very attractive sweater, by the way, that says "ugly sweater" on it.
For our YouTube viewers, nice. It's a nice visual for everybody today. But it's the holiday season, spreading joy and cheer all across the country. Investing and Trading Live, brought to you all across the country. Most major city in the U.S. We'll call it Minneapolis, Denver as our favorite ones. But the podcast all across the country. It's been a great year for Investing and Trading Live. And Al, before we get started, I have a little joke for you. And since it's Christmas, I got to ask you, what is it called when a snowman has a temper tantrum?
I don't know.
A meltdown.
Oh,
But
now I'm embarrassed that I didn't figure that one out.
Exactly. But Al, we could talk about Santa Claus jokes all year. We did not have a Santa Claus rally this year, but we've had a lot of great opportunities in the markets. And Online Trading Academy, the sponsor of the show, 25 years, actually on their 26th year, teaching people just like you how to trade and invest with all the financial markets. Just a quick recap on the year. We'll have one more show here on the year, but it will be on New Year's Eve. S&P 500 down roughly, depending on when you listen to the show here, about 20% on the year. The NASDAQ down 11. Oh, sorry, that was the Dow. The NASDAQ down 34%, and that's what a lot of people have been tech heavy.
Ouch.
In the past year or so here. And a lot of people think, well, where's the best place to go with your money? Is it gold and silver? Well, gold actually completely flat on the year. So it's not really that safe haven that people have always been talking about. We have a crypto meltdown, not a snowman meltdown, temper tantrum, a crypto meltdown. Bitcoin down roughly 64% on the year, depending on when you listen to the show here. Just a couple of notable stocks. Tesla down 62%. Apple down 27%. So we're seeing some really quote unquote good companies is what they say. And I want to talk about that here today. But there's also that one that I think I've been talking about for several months here. And it's that lone wolf in the pack, WWE, up 50% on the year. So there is some stocks that are going up. You just have to understand and find them, but also understand supply and demand in the financial markets. Al, we've been talking about this supply zone in the S&P 500 for several days and even a couple of weeks here, and it really respected that supply zone, dropping just like as we had talked about in the past few weeks here, coming right off that. And that's what I want to discuss here today, Al, is supply and demand in the financial markets, how these markets actually function, and how us as everyday investors want to trade and invest. So I want you to break that down for our listeners.
Yeah, well, you know what? You mentioned WWE, and the reality is there are a lot of people that are out there wrestling with what they should do this year. Did you get that one?
I got that one. Yeah,
good.
that was a good one.
Good. Well, you know what? And you mentioned gold being flat for the year. Typically, we see things that are negatively correlated, and gold and the stock market, oil in the stock market. Those are things that people used to be able to rely on. If the market was down, gold would be up, silver would be up. Things are not functioning the way that they used to. And right now, in the bond market too, this last year, the stock market and the bond market tumbled. So what people used to be able to rely on for their diversification and for their protection has not been working. And right now, we've gone from an era here where people were really worried about inflation. What was going to be the impact of inflation? We've now gone from worrying about that because it's here. People know it's here. They feel it every day. Now they're worried about the R word, recession.
Yeah.
Are we going to go into recession?
Crisis.
Are we in a recession? Well, those are things that keep people, again, wrestling with their decisions. What should they do? You mentioned stocks like Tesla being down 60-some%, Apple down over 20%. And people are looking at those were the stocks that really drove the market from the end of the last recession back in 2009 through now. Those technology stocks, those growth stocks have been what has really been fueling people's portfolios. And I know a lot of people are out there just waiting for those to turn around. And you know what? And that's a great thought. It's a great plan for the future because those companies, those are good companies. They're not going to go away. At some point in time, you'll have a rebound in those. But I think what's happened is that, when Tesla was down 40%, people thought, well, this is the bottom. I've got to get in. And it kept going down. And then maybe when it was down 50%, people thought, can't go any lower than this. I'm going to get in. And they did. And they've lost another 10%. Mm-hmm. Well, the point is that there are ways of identifying with a high degree of accuracy when these turning points are going to take place. You mentioned the term supply and demand. Those are zones that we help our students identify on a price chart that shows them, again, with a high degree of accuracy, when buyers are going to come in and drive the price up and when sellers are going to come in and drive the price down. Both of those zones can be the beginning and the ending point of a trend, which is what you, as a successful investor and trader, you want to take advantage of that full movement of that trend if you can. And you need to identify where the buyers and the sellers are going to start it and end it and start a new trend.
Yeah, I like that. And that's what I want to discuss here a lot on the show here today. We got an action-packed hour for our listeners is how to identify those turning points, which is where you have that lowest risk, highest reward, highest probability entry points in the markets. And it's a wrestling show, apparently. I have my Ultimate Warrior ugly Christmas sweater on, and continuing on that theme with a global crisis, potentially recession, the Fed is trying to body slam that by raising interest rates. So we're seeing some big movements in here because of these different things that are happening, but it doesn't matter which way it goes because we know we have strategies for up markets and for down markets. And how you do that is how you trade and invest with supply and demand, which is Online Trading Academy's core strategy on how to buy and sell in the financial markets. And we have investing classes local at our academies here to introduce you to these techniques and concepts on how to identify those turning points, how to identify supply or demand, which is be buyers and sellers in the markets, how to follow the big banks and institutions and trade like them, not against them. I'm going to give a text in line to text in for some tickets for this free class. When you text in right now, you're going to receive 2 seats for this class and a quick start kit that will help you get started right away. It's our holiday giveaway, the quick start kit. Ho, 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 Merry Christmas. You can text the word investing to the number 210-210. That's text the word investing to the number 210-210 for 2 seats for this class and that quick start kit to help you get started right away. Al, we have an action-packed show here, as I mentioned. We're going to continue to body slam the markets. We're going to have a good time off the top ropes. We're going to talk more about identifying supply and demand in the financial markets, those turning points. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.